Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to my Muslim student. Hi everyone. Let's continue with lecture number 8. Lecture number 8 is actually regarding to the same topic like before, offer and acceptance, but we will focus on the revocation. Okay, the word revocation always referring to the withdrawal. Let's say you already have offer and one person already accept. Let's say you would like to withdraw or cancel your offer or acceptance. There are conditions that you have to fulfill. Okay, look at the learning outcome. For this lecture, we are going to look at the terminology of the revocation, how the revocation can be carried out, what are the methods. Okay, and then after that, you must be able to distinguish the scenario that lead you to make the revocation of offer and acceptance. Okay, and then the next one, discuss a scenario that lead to the valid revocation. The last part of this lecture, we are going to look at certain example, and there are few exercise that you can see regarding to the revocation. Okay, let's see the next one. You can refer to section 5 in the Contract Act. Look at the terminology that have been highlighted. A proposal may be revoked before the communication of acceptance is complete. Let's say A is giving the offer to B. Okay, before B is giving the acceptance, A can revoke the offer. Okay, that is the definition, or that is the explanation on the information for this one. Can you see the word communication of acceptance? Before B give the answer, then only A is allowed to revoke. Okay, but not afterward. Once B is already give the answer to A is not allowed to revoke unless the revocation is accepted by B. So that is the option that you have. Okay, the second one, under section 5(2) Contract Act, an acceptance may be revoked before the communication of acceptance is complete. That means I give you the same scenario again. Okay, let's say A is having the contract or giving the offer to B. Okay, A is giving the offer, B is supposed to be to give the answer. So A is the offerer, B is the offeree. Okay, B is only can revoke the offer. Okay, revoke the acceptance only when it is not communicated. Maybe he has intention, but he or she did not reply yet to A. So before B reply, then only he is allowed to revoke the acceptance. Okay, acceptance can be revoked before the communication of acceptance is complete. But once B is already give the answer, and there is no revocation allowed. Okay, that means the contract will be formed. Once B give the answer to A, the contract already formed. So let's say A one day sue B because he already give the answer but he cancel. So B has to be liable for the breach of the contract. Okay, look at this example. Okay, look at this example. A proposed by letter sent by post to sell his house to B. Okay, this is basically by postage. We have the postage rule, or we can in English common law, and according to the scenario, basically the postal rule mentioned that once you post, it is considered rich. Okay, that is the postal rule. Okay, look at this scenario. A proposed by letter sent out by post to sell his house to B. B accept the proposal by a letter sent by post. So this is the scenario where both are dealing by post. Okay, A may revoke his proposal anytime before or at the moment when B posts his letter of acceptance. So in this scenario, how you want to know that how and what is the scenario where A is allowed to revoke the offer? A is allowed to revoke the offer before B send the acceptance. Okay, so you have to understand that if A offerer would like to revoke the offer, it must be done before B send the acceptance. Once B send the acceptance, then we cannot say that A is allowed to revoke the offer. Okay, next one. According to Section 6 Contract Act, a proposal may be withdrawn in any of the following way. Okay, This slide is actually show how the revocation is being carried out. In what scenario the revocation is allowed? Number one is by communication, or communication of notice, or maybe communication by post, or maybe by writing, by oral. Okay, so that means the communication has to be done. A has to carry out, A offerer has to carry out communication saying, okay, I would like to cancel my offer. Okay, the notice of revocation by the proposer to the party to whom the proposal is made. Look at the word to the party to whom the proposal is made. So to whom the proposal is made, this is the offeree. Okay, the time prescribed in the proposal for its acceptance elapsed, or if no time prescribed, it must be done in the reasonable time, as long as it's before B is giving acceptance. Okay, number 3, the offerer is allowed to carry out the revocation if the acceptor is failed to fulfill the condition precedent to the acceptance. That means, okay, I am using the same example. A is the offerer, B is the offeree. Offeree is supposed to fulfill the requirement as stated in the offerer. Okay, let's say A mentioned, if you would like to receive or accept my offer, you have to go to KFC. This is the example, they have to go to KFC by 8 a.m. So let's say by 8 a.m., B is not reached KFC Nilai, for example. So what is the scenario in this case? A is allowed, or A is able to revoke the offer because B is failed to fulfill the requirement as stated by A, because A already mentioned that, okay, you have to fulfill my condition because I am the offerer. Only offerer is allowed to give the condition, but B is not allowed to give condition when giving the acceptance. Okay, so in this case, A is allowed to revoke the offer or cancel the offer. Look at the next one, the death or mental disorder. The death of one of the party. Let's say A is giving the offer to B, but B suddenly meet with the accident. So automatically the offer to B is able to be revoked. Or maybe A is giving the offer to B. Tomorrow we found that B or offeree is having mental disorder. Okay, in Malaysia, in Malaysia or in English common law, mental disorder it is not recognized to form any contract. So once one of the party has mental disorder, means they did not have the capacity to form a contract, then only we can say that they are not allowed to enter to the contract, not be able to continue with the acceptance. Okay. But then for the fourth scenario, we have to make sure that the mental disorder for the offeree is before the at the reasonable time. At the reasonable time. And the last one, acceptance can be revoked before it comes to the knowledge of the proposer. So this is in terms of the acceptance. Okay, before it comes to the knowledge of the proposer. That means, let's say B has intention to revoke, but then he would like to communicate or send the post of the letters, post the letter, but the letter is not reached A yet. So once it reached A yet, then we can say that the contract is formed, then you cannot revoke the offer. Okay, for the last scenario, I give you one example. Let's say A is the offerer, B is the offeree. Okay, A is giving the offer to B, and then B appoints C to give the letter of the acceptance to A. Let's say B would like to revoke the offer and send the letter to C. Okay, in order for B to have valid revocation of the acceptance, B has to make sure that B is taking back the letter from C before C give the letter to A, because C now is like the agency or the person who is responsible to send the letter, or we can say representative to A. Okay, as long as the communication is before come to or reach to A as the offerer, then the acceptance can be revoked. After that, the acceptance is not allowed to be revoked because the person may claim that you have breached the contract because the contract already formed. Once the acceptance is done, the contract will be formed. That is in general. Now let's look at the communication of the revocation. According to section 5 in the Contract Act, the proposer may revoke his proposal at any time, but it must be made, I would like to highlight this sentence, it must be made before the acceptance is complete. Okay, look at the word, not afterward. It must be done before the acceptance is complete. According to section 6A, revocation of proposal need to be communicated. It is not only by intention or maybe by saying to others, thinking that the others may give, because sometimes it happen where the person discuss with another person and then the person gives the information to another person. Okay, so that one is not properly done. The combined effect of section 4.2, section 5, and section 8 is to lay down the rule that the proposal can be revoked at any time, but it must be properly communicated. The word communicated means it must come to the knowledge of the person to whom the proposal is being carried out. That means it must come to the knowledge of the offerer or proposer. Okay, and then in this case, if we are referring to the poster rule, this is the rule that I would like everyone to take note as well. The poster rule say that this is according to the English common law. The poster rule say that once you post, it's considered valid. Once you post, it's considered rich. Okay. Now, I would like to give one example here regarding to the communication of the revocation according to the contract court case. According to the court case, this is the original court case where we have to use this one as the fundamental reference in order to make the decision for the next issue. Okay, look at this one carefully. The defendant posted his notice of revocation of proposal on 8th of October. Okay, so if you analyze this one carefully, 8th of October, the defendant posted the notice of revocation and it reached the plaintiff on 20th of October. So that means after 12 days. Okay, look at this one. Number 2, on 11th of October, the plaintiff posted the letter of acceptance. Okay, can you see that? The revocation of proposal is posted on 8th. The plaintiff posted the letter of acceptance on 11. So who carried out the revocation first? The defendant has carried out the revocation of offer first. Okay, the plaintiff posted the letter of acceptance after the revocation is being carried out. You can see here, the court held that the contract was concluded on 11th of October. Okay, the revocation of the proposal was not effective because it was only communicated on 20th of October after the letter of acceptance was posted. Okay, look at this one. It reached the plaintiff on 20th of October. So look at this scenario properly. Okay, so this is to mention how important the communication of the revocation is. Okay, now after that, let's look at certain exercise regarding to this issue.